Hi everyone, welcome back to Vedic Life Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the 2025 year ahead outlook. We are going to take a look at the year ahead from a sidereal Vedic astrology perspective. We're going to look at the big energies across this year, what are the big shifts, and from a very high level perspective, we will take a look for every single sign. We're going to have a look at Saturn's shift into Pisces. We're going to have a look at Rahu Ketu axis shift into Aquarius Leo. We're going to have a look at Jupiter's shift into Gemini. I'll tackle each of those from a very high level point of view because you'll see across 2025 I'll be releasing a video specifically on each transit where I will go into a lot more detail and a lot more depth. But for now, I thought what we would do is just take a look at the year that's coming up. What can we expect? Are you ready for the new year? I've thought about this. I'm not ready. I am not ready for the new year. I feel like there is still so much to do this year. I feel like I'd love an extra week. Could I just have an extra week? I'm recording this on the 26th of December. I need an extra week before we start the new year, or an extra week or two would be great. I'm super busy. I've got a lot going on. I blocked off sessions this week, so I have had time to rest and recharge a little bit. Sessions will start again for me next week. Thank you to those of you who are booking. You're keeping me nice and busy, and I do love that. Thank you so much. I also want to take a moment to welcome the new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining. And I also want to thank a viewer from last month, the January Outlook. Someone made a very important and good comment saying that I had mentioned something about Mars retrograding until April. So I want to make a correction. That would have been incorrect. I probably should have said that Mars is going to be in Gemini until April. What I'm going to do, just to save a lot of confusion, I'll put all the dates by my side right now so that you'll be able to see it. I'm going to look up the dates fresh with my software and just make sure I pin down exactly all the dates. So I also just want to thank the viewer who made the comment and said, hey, I think you might have said the incorrect thing. I probably would have just meant Mars in Gemini, but I might have said it's retrograding for a long time or something, but I said the wrong thing. And that would have been in the beginning, but I had a look and it doesn't impact the mini reports or any of the other predictions that were made. So the video still stands, it's still okay. But I want to thank my viewers so much. I've got the best audience. Every now and then it may happen that, I say the wrong thing or there's a date that's slightly incorrect or whatever it is. And I want you to know, I thank all my eagle-eyed viewers for asking the questions in the comments or, saying, hey, does there need to be a correction here? Whenever anyone does that, I'm the most happy person because, yes, we've got to get these things exactly right. And I believe in that too. So thank you to my viewers. We do also, in the audience here, we do have a lot of astrologers. I do get astrologers who book me and things like that. So yeah, we've got a lot of fantastic people in the audience who really know their stuff. You can always let me know if there's ever anything that needs sorting out. I will get on top of that. Hopefully we should be okay in today's episode, but in today's episode, as with any episode, you can always let me know. Right, so we're going to have a look at the year ahead. Let's do this. Shall we take a look? Now, I'm going to go through this slide of notes, which I actually wrote for the last January monthly, but I decided to save it for this episode. Basically, I want to talk about the fact that we are entering a number 9 year. As per the Vedic numerology, next year is a 9 year. So we are coming out of an 8 year. This has been a number 8 year. And as I've been working with my clients one-on-one, doing the Zoom sessions, particularly in the Zoom sessions, I get to find out, what's happening in your lives, how has it been? And recently, some of the Zoom calls that I've been having, some of you guys have had a very tough number 8 year. 2024 has been very tough. It has tested you to the max, and some of you will be entering the number 9 year in need of recharge. Okay, you might just be 2024 might have been really tough for some of you out there. This has been a very, very tough year. So the number 9 year, it's a Mars year. Yes, Mars is all about activity and action, but let's not forget, Mars is also stop. It's also a stop energy. So with Mars, we've got, go, 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 stop. Go, 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 stop. Go, 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 stop. Mars can be like this. Why is that? So we've got Mars, Aries, right? That's the go, 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 go. And the stop can be Scorpio, Mars. Okay, that's where we stop. And next year could be a year like that for some of you, where it is go, 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 and then stop. It might be that kind of energy where it's all go or we're stopping. It could feel like that. Equally, some of you might be so exhausted and run down from this year that you're starting next year in a stop sort of energy. That is perfectly fine if you need to do that. And I did have a look at when does the sun go into Aries as per our system here, and the sun will go into Aries, I believe that's on the 14th of April there, 13th, 14th April 2025. So if you need a later start to the year, that's okay. I kind of feel like I need a later start to the year. Well, I feel like I need a couple of weeks now would be ideal, but then I think I am busy because I've got sessions starting next week. So for me, things are busy. But I remember last year, I distinctly remember last year that I was starting my year in March, April. That was for 2024. I had a late start to the year, which kind of works with a Saturn year. But it's interesting, I'm feeling that go, 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 go energy even now. I'm feeling the Mars year now. Yeah, I'm busy. So that's kind of interesting. We have this number 9 year. It's a Mars year. It's going to be an intense year. I've got a theme for the Mars year, which I'm going to go onto in the next slide. But I've got some notes here, and I'll just read out what I've said earlier. So I've got here very thick, dense, or sticky energies are going to be broken down this year. Whatever is incompatible with our more refined and evolved future has to be broken down and cleared. So Mars will get aggressive and full on possibly this year in terms of the breakdown. We're going to have to break things down. What's not compatible with our future, it has to be cleared. We've got a sun year that's going to happen in 2026. It's a number 1 year. It's a sun year. That's new beginnings. That the ground has to be cleared. So there's going to be some clearing that goes on this year. I also wrote down the term false flag event. Now we all know what a false flag event is. In recent years, in the last few years, especially since 2020, that term false flag has really entered the everyday consciousness, hasn't it? It's a term that we all use. People say, oh, well, get ready for a false flag event. I've got here, it's a modern term that we wouldn't have used in the way we use it now. So we can see how consciousness has grown and evolved. Because over the last 20 or 30 years, I was thinking like 20 or 30 years ago, would we have used that term false flag as we do now? People have told me, people have said, wow, you're close to central London, you got to take care, there could be a false flag event, and I heard recently, now I've got a note here, I heard that the cameras are or were turned off in London and in Denmark. So that's what I heard. And people were expecting something to happen. And I heard this from a few sources, but sometimes some of you ask me, who are your sources? So I'll give you a name here of someone you might like to check out. This is a psychic remote viewer called Beverly Rhodes. And I'll put her name on the screen. You can have a look at her work and see what she's up to. But she has said that the world is going to be in a challenged or difficult situation right through to about April of next year. And I think she can kind of see into the future and see future timelines. She's a remote viewer. That's how she does her work. I believe she does know some astrology as well, and that's probably based on Western tropical astrology. Here in our system, we are looking at sort of end of March and May, but I'm going to go on to that in the next slide. But the thing I want to share with you before I get there is that I also did some broader research about what people are saying out there for the collective, for, you know, the early months of 2025, what things are looking like. And I've got a quote by a guy called Pepe Escobar, who is the editor of the Asia Times, and he is also an independent geopolitical analyst. He said, and I quote, "These are the most dangerous months in this millennium, right after 9/11. And I've got here that he's predicting that the month before Trump comes into power is particularly worrisome, as the powers that be want to control the narrative before January the 20th. And yeah, I do think that January the 20th is significant, because if I remember correctly to the January outlook that I did, I'll point to it, I'll put a link above, you can check that out. I did mention, I'm pretty sure I mentioned 21st, 22nd, 23rd, if I've got that right. I'll put it on the screen if I got that right, but I know those dates around January 20th, there is some intense energy there. I did already talk about that here on the channel. So yeah, there is a lot to consider here for, well, just these next few months. And as I mentioned, Beverly Rhodes, she said, you know, right through to April, it's not going to be great. Now, what about our dates here in Sidereal Vedic Astrology? I've got here, so just at a very high level, Saturn shifts into Pisces, that's 29th March 2025. We've got Rahu Ketu shifts into Aquarius Leo, that's 18th May 2025. Now I am pretty sure that is based quite possibly on the mean node. I know my Parashara's light, I think it's based on true node, and it has a different date. So I'll just include my Parashara's light date as well, but I'm going to use 18th May 2025. On that one I did a Google search as well, just to see, okay, and I also checked Jyotish Dashboard. Jyotish Dashboard is saying 18th May. So yeah, I double checked that date, because Rahu Ketu dates are always a bit tricky. And Jupiter is going to move into Gemini, so that's 15th May 2025. So here in our system, end of March and May is really very significant. Okay, and I'll give you some themes as to how I see these. So what are some of the top themes for the year? Well, let's tackle this Mars year. It's a number 9 year. I had said, when I was introducing this concept, I had said that you know, things are going to be broken down, dense or sticky energies are going to be broken down and cleared and moved. Yes, that is true. Another way of looking at this point about it being a Mars year is that everywhere is going to be like a battleground. So even in areas where there's typically no fighting, there'll be something of a battleground. That's just how it's going to feel. And I'll give you a tiny little example of that. on the news headlines, I just happen to scan through on my phone. That's how much news I consume. I just sort of scan the headlines and then I get on with my day. I don't really look much at news. But some days ago, I saw this article, and it says here, Brazilian judge orders Adele's song be pulled globally over plagiarism claim. Now, I brought this up as an example of everywhere is going to be a battlefield, because that's music. You know, like when is that ever a battleground? Like, not usually, you know. Like, think of an area where there shouldn't really be any fighting, or that it be like a battleground. And music is a good example. I'm trying to think of something like, well, when I finish a long, hard day of astrology, I never watch astrology videos. What I like to watch is I like to watch book clubs, different people reviewing books or art or things like that. So in that little world of book clubs, there could be a battleground. You know, like it's just everywhere is going to be a battleground type thing. It could feel like that next year. That's one way that I'm looking at that. And we'll see unusual places where there are these fights taking place, or battles, or, you know, also this thing of class action lawsuits. This was one that I jotted down here on my 2025. I've had this little 2025 list that I've been writing over many weeks, and one of the things I jotted down was class action lawsuits. That could be a really big thing across this year as well. Also this thing of, just places where there aren't typically lawsuits or battlegrounds, but there will be type thing. Now, Saturn in Pisces. So I mentioned that Saturn in Pisces, Saturn shifts into Pisces 29 March 2025. So what's the theme for that? Okay, what I'm seeing here is Pisces, and I'm going to read Pisces in terms of loss. So I think there could be losses, right? Loss of, could be energy, could be resources, could be reputation, could be collapse. Okay, things collapsing, big things collapsing. I saw a headline, I'll show you. It was this one by the BBC News. Months of political instability loom as French government nears collapse. Right, these kind of things. Stuff could go down, or stuff could be off as well. So we could have power outages, power grids going down, trains not working, transport not working. Remember, we've got that Mars energy. Go, 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 stop. Go, 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 stop. Like this kind of, like, things are going, but then there's a stop. So we could have these stop type energies happening. So when I read Saturn in Pisces, I'm looking at loss. Another big thing that I wrote down, and I wrote this, and you got to believe me on this, because I've been writing this for weeks, and I wrote this I think a few weeks before. Now, I'm not too sure about this piece of news, but I vaguely remember just recently there was it a CEO of a big insurance company in America that got killed? I'll try and I'll find some kind of article for that. I know a little bit about this, not much, but insurance is going to be huge, I think, across the next 2 to 3 years. Now, what do I mean by insurance is going to be huge? I think insurance, Saturn is moving through Pisces. So the insurance industry, which is the financial industry that deals with loss. Okay, so loss energy. So people try to protect themselves financially against loss. This whole thing is going to be tested or have an overhaul, or it's going to have this Saturnian treatment. So it's the insurance industry. And when I wrote this down on this piece of paper, I was not thinking healthcare insurance at all. I was actually thinking of real estate And I'd seen a guy called Michael Hudson, he's an economist, and he talked about zombie office buildings. And I thought, yeah, that is interesting, because after the pandemic, people aren't working in the same way that they used to. And I remember a long time ago, I worked in the HSBC building in Canary Wharf. I used to absolutely love it. I was up on the 33rd floor. I could not get enough of being in that building. It was one of the best office buildings in London, and I watched a little video about that. Apparently that building is going to get an overhaul. It's going to be transformed into, because not that many people are working. When I worked there, there was something like 8,000 HSBC employees filling that building. I mean, it was full of, that was the HSBC global headquarters at the time. I don't know if it still is, because I know that they were thinking of moving it to Hong Kong and things like that, but now apparently that building is not being used as much. And what they want to do is they want to put in green spaces and restaurants and shops and co-working spaces and things like that. So yeah, I think they're going to start transforming these really city-like areas. And I thought that the insurance thing had something to do with property. But now that that CEO of that healthcare company in America, apologies, I don't know too much about this. I just, saw something briefly about it on the Candace Owens show, but I don't know too much. But it could be healthcare in America that is being completely transformed. And that would make a lot of sense, because, I think parts of the whole pharmaceutical industry are, I think it still has to be dealt with. There's a lot there. There's a lot of corruption and things like that need to be looked at. So insurance, and maybe it is property, but equally it could be healthcare. I'm not sure what kind of insurance. I just know insurance is a thing across the next 2 to 3 years. Now, how about Rahu and Aquarius? What are the big themes that I might be seeing there? Well, Rahu and Aquarius, one thing that I've seen in birth charts, when people have that in their birth chart, I've seen that they work really hard, and they often work really hard even in the later years of their life. They're always working. There's something about hard work with the Rahu in Aquarius. So I think this is going to be a year where we do have to work hard. Many of us will be having to work hard across this year. Ketu in Leo, a big broad brushstroke theme for Ketu in Leo. One of the things I'm seeing there is a suppression of wealth. There could also be a stability when it comes to wealth. That's another way of reading the Ketu in Leo. There could be a stability or a sustaining type energy could be at play there, where it's yes, it's being sustained, wealth is being sustained, but it's difficult to grow, or it's difficult to go above that level that's being sustained. So sometimes Ketu can operate in that way. Equally, sometimes Ketu can just be like an eclipse, a cutting action, where it's just there could be a loss of investment, again tying into that theme of Saturn in Pisces, with the loss energy there. So there could be stock market corrections and things like that. But equally, what I'm observing with stock market corrections is that when they happen, they're short, sharp and deep, but the recovery is fast. I've been noticing over the years as I've been looking at the stock market. So I know there was a lot of tension, say for example in 2016, 2017, 2018, those were highlight years when everyone thought the stock market was going to go down in a massive way, and it never did. So, what I've been seeing is I don't think there'll be any major collapses, but if there are corrections, I feel like there can be corrections, but they'll be short, sharp and deep, and that it'll spring back up type thing. I've got a note here for a remedy, which is kind of interesting. I'll have a look at the time. Yeah, this has been a bit long. A general remedy for the collective energies, or what we've got going on collectively. It's really simple, and it's going to sound a bit cheesy, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's just prayer. It's just prayer, but as a community service. So, and this is not my idea. This is something that Diana Cooper has been talking about and teaching for many, 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 many years. She is the master of this, and she often reminds people to do a collective type of prayer. So some examples that she gives are things like, if you're swimming in a public place, and me being from Australia, you know, if I was down there now, I probably would be at the beach with my friends and things like that. So yeah, she says, when you're at the beach and there's lots of people swimming, she said, just touch the water and pray that everyone be safe in this water. Isn't that lovely? That's just a small 2-minute thing you can do. No one needs to know, but yet it's this beautiful prayer energy, and it's going out to the collective. I do things like that. Here I'm in an apartment building, so every time I pray for my place, I'm praying for the whole building and everybody in it. You know, things like that. If we can do or build in more collective prayer into this year, that's really going to be a good thing. I sometimes do that as well, like when I'm flying on a plane. I often, you know, do a little prayer for all of us on the whole plane. Like, that's just a nice little thing to do, isn't it? So if we can build a bit of that into this year, that's going to be a really good thing. And that's, of course, we've got that Rahu in Aquarius energy. So you're not just praying for you, you're praying for a large group. Ideally, while you're in that group, when you're sitting on that train or that bus or that plane, or you're swimming in that, I don't know, beach or pool or whatever it is, be amazing, wouldn't it be, if we all just prayed for everyone? Because yes, another thing that I forgot to mention was a thing of accidents, which I know accidents is a little bit more of a Scorpio type thing, but we are here in Pisces. Pisces is a little bit similar to Scorpio in some ways. And I'll just bring up this one article that I forgot to mention. 2 Russian tankers sink in the Black Sea. You know, what a disaster. And things like this could happen. And I've got here accidents. There was another case of someone here in England who they were just on the pavement and someone was on their e-bike and there's a collision type thing. So yeah, I mean, accidents are a bit of a possibility this year. The reason I say that, it's not so much because of Pisces. I'm now thinking about it. The reason I'm saying this is because of Mars. Because we've got Mars, Aries, the go, 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 but then we've got the stop. The stop is Scorpio, it's accidents, it could be e-bikes on the pavement or things like that. So this is a kind of a year where you just want to be careful about, yes, I've got here as well, 2 pieces of advice for this Mars year. I've got here, don't rush and don't act on anger if you can avoid it. Equally, anger might be needed and might be effective. So if you do need to use anger energy, just make sure you're not doing it from a wounded, angry place. There is such a thing as a clean, boundary setting, healing anger. Use that type of anger if you need to this year. I think that's everything really for the overall summary. So I hope that covers it. Oh, there's one more thing. The astrological build of the year. This was something I did have a little look at, which was how many full moons do we have, how many new moons, how many eclipses. It's a pretty standard boring year. We've got standard 12 full moons, we've got 12 new moons, and we've got our standard 4 eclipses. I'll put the dates on the screen, what I've got for the eclipses. This is from a sidereal Vedic astrology point of view. The one that is a little bit different is the 23rd August 2025 solar eclipse. I've got that as a date here, but then when you look at date and time. They've got different dates. So we've got some experts in the audience. If anyone wants to weigh in on this, I'll show you my dates. You can show me yours. You know, I don't know. This is what I've got. I'm just looking at this now. But what I'm going to do is when we get closer to the time, you know, we will have a look at what are the correct dates. I'm not going to go into the eclipses now. What I am going to do is I'm going to get into these mini reports, and we'll take a look at all the signs for 2025. All right, so are you ready to go through the whole zodiac? Anyone joining me for the whole thing? Welcome if you are. Let's take a look. So we're going to have a look at, I've got them on the screen. I'll put it by my side this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you my predictions. I'm not going to talk too much about aspects and this and that. We might do that in a future video if we want to go super detailed, but I'm going to keep it very high level in this episode. So we're just going to have a look at just the prediction bits, just the good stuff. I'm just going to give you the good stuff. I'll put the detail on the screen by my side. Aries, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Aries ascendant, Aries moon, or Aries sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So Aries, what we're going to do is I'm going to put the detail by my side, and I'm just going to talk you through at a very high level what I see here. So we're going to have Saturn in Pisces. For you, that's going to be in your 12th house. Now, Aries moon, you are going to be starting Sadi Sati. And I will explain what that is in the Saturn video. But basically, at very high level, Saturn is about to pass over your moon. Saturn takes about 7.5 years to do this. Saturn moves very slowly. It's going to take time. It is a phenomenal time period. It's a Saturnian time period. So within that, you're going to polish up your whole life. You're going to become very disciplined. You're going to become very good at what you do. Saturn will work you hard. Saturn will test you. Saturn will challenge you. But if you meet the tests and the challenges with courage, then you generally come out with flying colors. You end up doing really well. I've seen people in the Sadi Sati prosper, especially in their second one. You can achieve a lot. You can do a lot. So don't be put off if you read somewhere that Sadi Sati is, you know, a very challenging thing, or it can have its challenges, but it can be very good too. So Aries moon, specifically, you're going to enter your Sadi Sati period. Now, what about for all of you just generally? Okay, Saturn is 12 from, so Saturn is 12 from ascendant, Saturn is 12 from sun, or 12 from whatever you're looking at here. So 12 from transit. I've got here that spiritually your inner riches can really grow at this time. Okay, spiritually this is an absolutely brilliant transit. You can find or meet a very special guru. Equally, you could be the guru to other people. Okay, so spiritually it's a profound time. It's a beautiful time. One good thing about this transit is that spiritually, what's so great about it, you learn the art of surrender. You really learn how to let go. And sometimes with Saturn being in this position, there can be some losses happen, for example, okay? So sometimes that could be loss of reputation, loss of energy, loss of motivation. Some of these things can happen in a 12th from transit. I've got here that you can have this sense that you're working very hard, but it's hard to get ahead, or it's hard to save money. Saturn will be casting aspect into your second house of wealth. So that's a little bit challenging there. I've got here, at times you might feel tired. This is definitely one where you'll want to look after your physical health. Okay, that's all you have to do. And the thing about Saturn in this position is he really doesn't want you to overwork. He doesn't want you to overwork. He doesn't want you to burn out. He'd rather that you rest. He'd rather that you go easy, take life in a gentler sort of pace, in a gentler way. Don't work too hard. Yes, keep working. You will obviously need to keep working, but it's perfectly fine across this transit if you don't want to work as hard. We're going to take a look at your Rahu Ketu shift. So from a Rahu Ketu point of view, this is a really good time for you to build a network, build your work contacts, do networking. Social media can grow at this time. It's a great time to grow your business, great time to grow multiple streams of income or get these things started. So that's your Rahu energy there. I've got here, you're building the vehicle of your life. So there's something about you building the vehicle. You might not see the results yet. And that's the thing. I mean, when you're building a vehicle, you're not ready to, maybe you haven't built the accelerator pedal yet. You know, it takes time to build all these components. So build them. Build them. You will see the results. You will be able to hit the accelerator pedal once you've built it in, right? But it takes time to build the vehicle. So you're building that. I've got here with your Ketu position, it might be hard for you to be seen at times. And you might at times be overprotective of your children. That's a possibility. I don't think that that's a bad thing at all. I think that's quite sweet actually. But yeah, just bear that in mind, that you might be really overprotective of your children or something along those lines. And that's fair enough. Now we've got here Jupiter, Jupiter's movement. So Jupiter is actually really good for you. This is beautiful energy. Jupiter is not the best in the third house, but Jupiter is aspecting really profitable houses where Jupiter energy does great. So I've got here Jupiter is helping you financially. As you expand, you might have difficulties. Okay, you're expanding your business, right? But then you'll come up against an obstacle or you'll come up against a block. That could happen. Some of these blocks could be in connection with peers or siblings, people at your level, teammates, any of that. You might have this thing of you expand, there's an obstacle. We expand again, there's another obstacle. But then you keep expanding, it's all right, keep expanding, that's the main thing. I've got here, take care of your health. And also short trips are going to be good for you. So if ever you need a little break, if ever you need a little getaway, try to save some money so that you can make that happen. That's going to be good for you. Aries, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Taurus. Taurus, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Moon, or Taurus Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So we're going to have a look at the Saturn transit here, just a very high level. What have we got going on? Oh, Taurus Moon. Taurus Moon specifically, you are very lucky, okay? You've got a beautiful thing ahead of you here. You've got a much needed 2.5 to 3 years where things should be a lot better. So that's great. I've got here Taurus Moon will especially prosper. But for all of you, even if you're ascendant or sun or any of that as well, this is a platform building time. This is Saturn 11th from. This is very good. So I've got here, you will be seen. Saturn will offer you new opportunities. He'll offer money, new relationships. This is a time to build, 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 build. Okay, so you really want to make the most of this transit. Saturn is casting aspect into your first house. It will be important for you to look after your health in order to make the most of this transit, but you have got a very good Saturn transit in front of you. I'm really excited, Taurus. It's been a long time coming. We'll talk more about it when I do a deep dive video into this transit. Let's take a look at your Rahu Ketu shift. What's that like? I mean, that's really good. Rahu is still ambitious. Rahu was in the 11th for you. That was ambitious, but now even more so. Rahu loves to be in the 10th. 10th is good for Rahu. I've got here, it's a great time to build career. Great for career-related transformations, basically. You can definitely transform your career, possibly even. Now with the Ketu position here, mother's health could be impacted, so that's just something to bear in mind. And I've got here with your Ketu position, it might be hard to relax at times, okay, because that Rahu energy in the 10th is going to be really fired up. Rahu will also, another good thing about Rahu in the 10th, that's good for work-related travel as well. So if you've got any of that, that's going to be good. But your Ketu position there, you might find it hard to relax. Where do you go to relax? Could be a little bit tricky. So just be conscious of that and find ways to relax. Find ways to build more relaxation into your busy days if you can. Now let's take a look at Jupiter. We've got Jupiter moving into Gemini, so this is beautiful. This is fantastic, really. Got him money. You will make a lot of money at this time. Your psychic and healing abilities might improve at this time. Your health is likely to improve also at this time. And if you want to expand your family, childbirth, this kind of thing, you've got beautiful energy here to be expanding your family, or I don't know, there's some expansion energy connected in with family across this time. And definitely an expansion in your work, your ability to serve, your ability to be seen, to succeed. Really lovely energy ahead of you, Taurus. I'm so excited. All right, we are now going to welcome Gemini. Gemini, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Gemini Ascendant, Gemini Moon, or Gemini Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So we're going to take a look at Saturn's position just from a high level. I'll do a deeper dive in future videos. So we've got Saturn in the 10th for you. There's a lot of hard work ahead of you, Gemini. There's a lot of hard work. I've got here, you will be seen and you will have to work. You will have to work. It's going to be busy. You're in demand. I've got here, it might be hard to find rest at times. Mother's health might be impacted, or there's something in connection with mother, or there's something in connection with the home, where Saturn is moving through there, and just Saturn can be a bit of a challenge. Property is, again, something that, I mean, you could move. Is something that could happen here. You might move, or there could be something to do with contracts, or something to do with repairs, or improving the home, or there could be something like that going on there with the home. And I've got here, but if you're self-employed, this is the transit that's going to make you. Okay, so work with the energy, even when it's tough, even when it's difficult, even when it's like, I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting any rewards. Keep going, work with it. The rewards will come. Saturn will move into Aries in the next transit and you'll be rewarded. So the people who work hard, the Gemini people who work hard in this time now, you're going to get your rewards. You might not see it straight away. That's a difficulty with Saturn. You don't get to see the rewards straight away, but just know it's coming. So keep working, keep working. It's all going to be worth it. Now have a look at your Rahu-Ketu axis. I've got here your Rahu there in the 9th. Might have challenges. You might be challenged by authority. Okay, so bosses at work could be difficult. Your father could be difficult as well, or your relationship with father could be challenging, or you as a father, you might, have some challenges in that regard as well. Ketu position, I've got here now, financial gains are likely to stabilize. Financial gains might even increase with this Ketu position. And this is also really lovely energy actually for short trips, It's good for studies. It's actually quite nice energy, Ketu in the third there. So this is a pretty good Rahu Ketu setup, what you've got here, Gemini. And we're going to have a look at Jupiter. What's Jupiter doing? So Jupiter, now the thing with Jupiter is that it will expand whatever's going on. So if you're in fantastic health, that's great. Jupiter may expand that. But equally, if you've got some health niggle that's just, there's that pain you keep getting in that particular area or whatever, well, that could require attention, okay? So look after your health, basically, across this time. And the other thing is that you're likely to be seen at this time. Something about you being seen could even be good for growing your social media and things like that. And if you do any spiritual work across this time, that's going to be wonderful for you. That's sort of that you'll grow your inner spiritual riches if you devote yourself more to your spiritual path. But yeah, I'm just having a look here. Definitely on the health front, look after your health. Take care of the physical body across this time. All right, we are now going to welcome Cancer. Cancer, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Cancer Ascendant, Cancer Moon, or Cancer Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So you've got your Saturn there in the 9th. So I've got here, you will need to put a lot of self-effort to make money across this transit. It's going to take effort. It's going to take work. Saturn's going to work you hard, but you can really grow your wealth, actually, but I feel like it's going to take self-effort in order to grow the money side of your life. I've got here, you might be challenged by authority, bosses, or your father. There could be, some superior authority is challenging you, and you might feel that across this transit. I mean, it could even be God. It's like sometimes I'm on a Zoom call with people and they're like, oh, I'm angry at God. It's like, okay, let's deal with that. Yeah, no, that happens. So you got Pisces in here, so you might be angry at the whole universe. It might happen. It might be that you feel like the universe is challenging you at times, but that's all right. Just all of this is polishing you. Polishing your soul, it's polishing you. You're being tested, you're being shaped, you're getting the Saturn treatment. That's what he does. But you got to go with it, because he turns you into a champion eventually. It really does. All right, let's take a look at the next thing. So we got Rahu Ketu. So Rahu, what's happening here with Rahu there in the 8th? Now, something across this period of time might require your courage. I don't know what that thing is, but it's a hidden thing, and you may not know, you might not see this coming, but something might require your courage. Okay, and sometimes that could be just doing your spiritual work or your inner self-development work. Could mean looking at something that you don't want to look at. Could be something along those lines. The other thing about your Rahu position is that you might be organizing shared assets, or reorganizing, or rearranging, or something to do with shared assets. Could come up at this time. And your Ketu position there, across your second house there, that could be a thing of sustaining the wealth that you have, but it might be difficult to increase that. That's all. It could be a little bit of a suppression type of effect that Ketu could be having on your wealth. It's just difficult to grow it. You want to grow it, but it's proving to be a bit hard. It could operate that way. But don't worry, that's just for a short time. And then we've got Jupiter up there in your 12th. So I've got here, your spiritual inner riches will grow. And a typical way that happens when there's significant 12th from transit energy, how it's happened for me is that my spiritual riches grew because my ambition went down. So that is how that has happened for me. So it'll be interesting to see how this happens for you, if there's any of that. It's really helpful when your levels of ambition go down, because you're so much more free to be creative and do things. I've got here property or shared assets could grow or increase at this time. So that could be a good thing. It's a good time for solitude. It's a good time for spiritual retreats. It's a good time just to do any form of spiritual work, meditation, reading the books that you really feel drawn to read, study the things that you really want to study. This is that kind of transit for you. So thank you so much, Cancer. We are now going to welcome Leo. Leo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Leo Ascendant, Leo Moon, or Leo Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So you've got Saturn there in the 8th. Wow, Leo, this is a big transit. This is a big one. So I've got here, this is an excellent time for career transformation. This can be the time where your whole career transforms. Okay, this was the transit, the 8th from, for me, I think it was the 8th from my moon transit, where I left a 19-year career in advertising and I started as the Vedic Life Coach. I became an astrologer, didn't I? Look at me, and I'm still doing it. So, yeah, I didn't realize it while I was in it. I was doing these readings and I was thinking, well, I'll be still in advertising. I didn't know that whole thing was going to that an entire economy, would just collapse for me. It just didn't continue. The whole realm of my life just dropped out, disappeared. Did not know it was going to go that way. I should have known. Now I was looking at the transit. I was going, can't see it. You can never see it for yourself, can you? All right. But you could have a total career transformation here. I've seen it with my clients many times. I've seen it on hindsight for myself, but I see it. Now, if it's not your career that's transforming, sometimes it's not a career transformation. Sometimes that carries on as normal. Sometimes it could be that your whole family changes, or there's some setup of your life that totally transforms and changes. And it could be a setup of your life that you have been dependent on. Okay, there's a dependency thing with the Saturn in the 8th. So you could just look at, what have I been dependent on for a really long time? That thing could totally transform. And sometimes when these things transform, it can feel a bit scary, but go with it, because you'll be looked after. You'll be fine, you've got to go with the change. I've got here, at times it might be hard to make money, but keep putting in the effort. Yeah, it can be. I know when I was transitioning out of my regular jobs and all that to build the astrology practice, money was hard at times. It was difficult. It was not easy. But I went with it because I had to, because there was no other way. So that was a really interesting time. So Leo, enjoy this precious time. And if it is a career transformation, one of the things you will get to do is you'll get to create your days on your terms. How would you like your day to be? You get to, and that's what I loved about when I started up this practice and this work that I do. I loved the ability to, I can create my day how I want to. Whatever it is, how I can structure my day completely as it suits me and as it suits my health and well-being. And, you get to, when there's a big transformation like this, be excited about the new thing that you're going to create, and that you get to create it completely on your terms. It's completely new. What are you going to make? How are you going to make it so it's good for you? You get to decide that. Okay, that's where you need to put your attention, not on the thing that's falling apart. Put your attention on the exciting thing that you're building now. Okay, that's where the attention needs to go. Let's have a look at your Rahu Ketu axis. So this is a tricky one here. There could be some misunderstandings happen with partner, the person that you are married to or in a committed relationship with. Any significant commitments that you've made with another person, significant relationships. You just want to take care in those relationships. At times there could be some misunderstandings happen. I've got here, at times in relationship, when we look at your Ketu position, it just might be that you don't feel seen or understood. Okay, so this could be like that. I do think this is a good time for single people. If you are looking to be with someone or looking to commit, this could be good for that. Could also be really good if you're a self-employed business person, if you want to engage in foreign trade or business, social media. This is good energy for that. Your Rahu placement, really good for social media there, growing social media platforms, engaging in foreign business, growing a business, running your own self-employed business. All that's really good here. And your Jupiter position, let's take a look at this. Oh my God, this is so good. You got a good one here, Leo. I've got here brilliant transit to make money. Yay, this is good. I've got here make as many gains and as many new contacts as you can. Yeah, very good for social media. Look at that. You've got your Rahu Ketu is very good for that too. And your Saturn there. You could transform a lot of things at this time. Leo, this is exciting. I'm loving what you've got going on there. Yeah, really cool. You can build something brand new, build a brand new life for yourself. Even the resources will be there to help you do that. Great energy, Leo. All right, Virgo. Virgo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Virgo Ascendant, Virgo Moon, or Virgo Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So now you've got your Saturn there in the 7th house. Got here your relationship with spouse and or significant others in your life. Could even be family, could be relationship with mother, relationship with father. All of these major big relationships at times across this transit. Now it's a long transit, right? 2 to 3 years, because there will be, after 3rd June 2027, there will be a retrograde. So it's kind of like with this transit, I tend to see it as, March 2025 to about March 2028, because there's a retrograde where it goes back into Pisces. But basically, across this whole big long period, your relationship with significant others might be tested at times, but not for the whole time. So I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to think, oh no, it's going to be really difficult for... No, just bits here and there. Saturn is like that. Saturn, he'll test you, but then equally Saturn will give you breaks. Saturn gives time of healing. You'll be taken care of as well. So yes, there'll be tests in relationships, but there will also be... Saturn does provide stability as well, and even bits of healing. And one thing I've noticed, I had some tests across this past year, and I noticed that like after the test there'll be some time for recovery. And when you're really in the present moment as much as possible, then you get the benefit of the healing that's naturally offered after difficulty or after tests. That's how things go. It's quite amazing, because it's like in tarot, you have your Tower moment, you have your difficult cards, but then immediately after that you've got a beautiful healing card, and that really is how the universe does work. You have to be in the present moment to get the healing, though. That's what I've discovered. That's why they always say be in the now. I get it, because you don't want to miss the healing, you see. But yeah, I do have here that the note that you will be tested across this period. It will be a bit challenging at times. Now let's have a look at your Rahu Ketu axis. This is actually quite beautiful. Your Rahu's there in the 6th house. So I've got here, this is a brilliant transit for work, for service, for competing, for career, for legal cases. If you have to be out in the world, but there's a challenge, but there's something about that challenge that you're loving, you get involved, and you possibly get recognized. We've got Aquarius here as well. So your efforts I think could really be recognized and rewarded. So this actually really, there's some excitement here with your Rahu. With your Ketu position, there's a brilliant position for growing inner spiritual riches and growing your state of calm. Growing your state of calm. So yes, you'll be out in the world, but at the same time, Ketu is there up there in the 12th. So there's always a bit of calm that you can count on, even when you're in the midst of chaos. It's good energy. Really nice. And your Jupiter position, so that's there in the 10th. I've got here, you can definitely build wealth here. You've got some really nice aspects. Definitely that's that second house aspect there. I've got here, if you serve with a humble nature and outlook, you know, if you concentrate on service, if you concentrate on, you know, Stuart Wilde talks about this. He talks about your client is here and you go beneath them to lift them up, kind of thing. He talks about that energy, Stuart Wilde, in case you want to check him out. But I've got here, if you serve with a humble nature and outlook, or a humble heart, or something like that, if you just want to serve and uplift people, that's going to be really, really good, Virgo. So that could possibly be a good remedy for the year as well. Nice energy here, Virgo. I think you're going to have a good time, but we will take a look at all of these in more detail in future videos. Libra, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Libra Ascendant, Libra Moon, or Libra Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. Look at that, you got Saturn in the 6th. This is a really good transit, Libra. I'm loving it. This is a platform building time. So Saturn is going to give you opportunities to go up in life, to build the new thing, the next platform up. This is very, very good energy. I've got a note here, a special note here though. You will need to look after your health, okay? Just make sure you're not overworking. Just make sure you don't burn out or any of that. Set aside some time and consciousness and space to look after your physical body. That's going to be really important. So you want to look after your health. But as long as you're doing that, then you can be really powering ahead here and building that next platform up in your life. I've got here, you will be given opportunities to grow. They will come. Now let's have a look at your Rahu Ketu axis. So the Rahu position there, that's really lovely for singles. If you're single and you want to meet someone, that's good energy. It's good energy for creativity. It's good energy for time with your children, having fun with your kids. So that's really nice energy there. And your Ketu position is really excellent for either stabilizing your wealth or your income. So you're either just stabilizing and maintaining wealth and income there, or you could even be growing your income as well. With Ketu, it can operate in some different ways. Sometimes it's a bit hard to predict, but I would say at least things should be stable financially. And with your Rahu position, there's something about you getting ideas on how to expand or grow your kingdom. Okay, so think of your house or your home as a kingdom, and how do you want to expand? Or your life, think of your life. I think that's better. You think of your life as a kingdom. How do you want to expand that? You'll get ideas and enthusiasm and inspiration to do that. And if we have a look at your Jupiter transit, this is brilliant. I'm loving this. I've got here brilliant transit, great for gains. You're going to be seen. You're going to be successful. This is really good for social media, or building up your profile, or you're going up in the world, or your authority is going up, or maybe you're getting that next title, maybe you are getting a promotion or something like that. We've got Aquarius there in your 5th house there. Jupiter's aspecting into that. You could be recognized, you could be being promoted, seen, you're going up. There's something about you going up. You could also get married, and there is also some energy with the Jupiter aspect going there in the 5th house. Could be expanding the family, having kids, any of that. Really beautiful energy here, Libra. So I'm excited for you. We are now going to welcome Scorpio. Scorpio, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Moon, or Scorpio Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So we have got Saturn in your 5th house. So things could really be transformed here for you, Scorpio. There could be a lot of transformation. I've got here how you earn and how you save money can be transformed at this time. It might be that your love life is tested. Okay, so romance, love, your heart, that could be tested at this time. Your relationship with your children could be tested at this time as well. So these are just some areas at a high level. These are just some things to think about, but we'll go deeper in more depth in the Saturn video that I eventually make. I don't know when I'll make it, but soon. There's some transformation coming up. I can definitely say that. And you'll be tested here and there, not for the whole thing, but just bits here and there. You know, there'll be certain tests that come up. All you have to do is stay in the present time, present moment. Keep that present moment awareness high. And if you encounter a test, what you'll discover is if you're in the present moment, you'll get the healing afterwards. Okay, so that always happens. You just want to stay in present time. And don't carry the past with you into the future. Don't be doing that either. All right, so let's have a look at the next bit I've got here, Rahu, Ketu. So we'll start with Ketu actually. I've got here Ketu will help you keep your existing job or keep your income stable. There's something about Ketu just keeping the status quo, keeping things going here. Now, is it possible that there could be, you know, say for example, like a big shift at work, or you switch jobs, or you know, your employer has to let you go or something like that. That is a possibility with your Ketu in the 10th. It can be that, you know, that it's a total change of job could happen here too. Now Rahu, I've got here Rahu in the 4th. Good for you to be at home more and go within. With your Rahu position there and the Ketu in the 10th, it might be, it's good for you to be at home, but you might not want to be. You might want to be out in the world. But then, you know, it's an interesting one with Ketu in the 10th. I personally have experienced that. I remember it kept me in the job that I was in at the time. It kept me there. It kept everything very stable. And then I think maybe did I lose that job towards the end of the transit? I might have done, I don't know. Can't remember that far back now, but I'd have to look at it again. But then I have a look at your next, see, look, you got Jupiter in the 8th. So look at that, I've got here, could be some big career transformation. So it could be that you, say for example, you're stable and steady in a job, but then they let you go, maybe you have some form of break, but then you will get more work. So that's coming. It's not like you're not going to have work, but it's like there could be a gap or a break between contracts or something along those lines. It is possible with your Jupiter in the 8th there. I've got here, could experience a needed gap in career. The universe may want you to rest. That is a possibility because, and this is a little bit with your Jupiter in the 8th there. This is a bit of that, you know, go, 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 stop. Go, 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 stop. And then I mentioned earlier in the, it could go like that. If that happens, see it as a blessing. See it that the universe wants you to rest. The universe doesn't want you to be working 24/7 all the time. Okay, see it as a blessing. You will get work once you've rested and replenished and recovered. Okay, it might be that you need a bit of a rest. Might be. Doesn't have to be, but it's a possibility. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is Sagittarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Ascendant, Moon or Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. All right, let's take a look at this. So you've got Saturn Daya period. You do indeed. Yes, that fourth from, I've got here, it's a time of highs and lows. Okay, you can have some amazing things happen at this time. Equally, you could have some very challenging things happen at this time as well. I've got here your career and home can all be transformed and or tested at this time. This is the kind of thing where you could move at this time. Your career could change at this time. You're going to be busy. That's the other thing. I feel like you are going to be working hard. Saturn's going to work you hard. You're going to be busy. A lot of things could transform at this time. Let's have a look at your Rahu Ketu axis. So with your Rahu position here, I've got, it's a great transit for building networks, for building businesses, for building groups, whatever thing it is that you want to build. You've got the energy here to do it. You've got the enthusiasm, the drive, the motivation. You can network easily with this. There will be people to help you. Great energy there with Rahu. Fantastic energy. You'll have the courage and confidence. You'll have the get up and go. It will be there. Now your Ketu position, this is really good energy too. This is good energy for travel. And as well if you need to do work-related travel or even study-related travel or something to do with your studies. This is a good Ketu for maintaining your status in life or maintaining what it is that you've created so far. And it's beautiful energy for your spiritual riches to grow. You can learn a lot spiritually. It could be that you just drink in a load of ancient texts. Ancient texts is a very Leo sort of a thing. Ketu being there, I mean, you just might really enjoy studying and learning and drinking in all these incredible things. You could really skill up or grow in some inner sort of way with this transit. Let's take a look at your Jupiter position. So I've got here, you can marry at this time. You can indeed, your Jupiter there in the 7th house, or there's an expansion of your heart, there's an expansion of love. Maybe, maybe if you've been married for some time, maybe you guys decide to travel together because you never had time to do that before, and now you're like, oh, let's travel, let's go somewhere. Could be something like that. Yeah, I've got here taking relationships to the next level. So it doesn't have to be just the person that you're married to or your business partner or your whatever significant others you have around you or in your life. Any of those relationships can really grow, can really be taken to the next level, or, it's wonderful energy here. It's great. I've got here great energy for growing businesses, growing social media platform, growing, your audience, if you write books or any of that. So really great energy here, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome Capricorn. Capricorn, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is Capricorn Ascendant, Capricorn Moon, or Capricorn Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. Capricorn, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for my Capricorn Moon people. Guys, you're going to come out of Sati Sati. It's happening this year, 29 March 2025. You finished. You finished that 7.5 year period that really test people across their lives. So those of you Capricorn moons, I hope you're going to do something to celebrate that. I've got here Capricorn moons released from Sati Sati. It's really exciting. But for all of you Capricorns, this is great energy. Okay, whether you're Capricorn moon or ascendant or sun or whatever you are, it's fine. This is just beautiful energy. You've got a platform building time. So you're going to be rewarded. Okay, so this is, your business will grow, your career will grow, What you do will grow. I've got here, your authority will go up. Your kingdom will grow. Okay, see your life as a kingdom. No matter how big or small it is, whatever it is. My little kingdom is tiny. My kingdom is like 2 rooms and no balcony. It's like, but it's a kingdom. And yes, I see it as such. So do that. See your life as a kingdom. And it will grow. Your authority is going to go up. Now we do have, look, Saturn is aspecting your 10th. And here, when Saturn's in the 3rd, yes, there's all this good stuff going on. But with that aspect there on the 10th, losses are possible, even still. So I do have to be a little bit measured and balanced in how I pitch this to you, this incredible time. Yes, it's an incredible time, but it's not without, there can be the odd difficulty that happens. And I have seen it in the lives of my clients, that sometimes we're talking about their 3rd from Saturn transit, and sometimes a difficult thing does happen, even in this portion. So it can be, but what you'll find is that, yes, there might be a test, but if you stay in present time, there will be healing energy that comes immediately after the test. You just have to be in present time to experience that healing energy, and it'll be fine. On the whole, this Saturn transit is a very, very good one. I'm just seeing my camera battery flashing, so I'm going to replace that. So we're now going to take a look at your Rahu Ketu axis. What's that doing? Beautiful. So your Rahu is second house there. So I've got here, it's time to build up your wealth, or to continue building up your wealth. You would have had, Saturn was 2nd from before, so you have been building up your wealth through Saturn anyway, so that's good. That's over the last, since the start of 2023, you would have been slowly rebuilding and building up your wealth again. So that should have been happening. Rahu's going to come into that 2nd house and continue that. Okay, so we're continuing building up your wealth, building up your long-term independent wealth. Okay, this is the wealth that you create, and that's for you. Ketu, and of course it could be for your family too, but there's something about you're generating or creating independent wealth. That's one of the ways that I read Rahu in the 2nd there. Ketu, I've got here, this is an excellent transit to build your spiritual occult abilities. This is brilliant. Ketu there in the 8th, you can be building your intuition, you can be building up your internal spiritual riches, is a way that I like to see and say that. Something about your building up that place within. And if we have a look at your Jupiter transit, what's that going to be like? So I've got here, this one is important when it comes to health. So you want to look after your health across this transit. If you have any health issues or some niggly health thing that is just there, but maybe you don't pay much attention to it, what I would say is look after it, pay attention, or deal with it. Because when Jupiter comes into a health area, Jupiter can sometimes expand an existing issue, say for example. So definitely look after your health. And if there's an existing issue, see if you can just look after that or devote some time to it, or this is that kind of thing where you just want to maintain good healthy habits. You want to keep exercising, you want to keep eating well. This is that kind of Jupiter here. Yeah, I've got the note here, so stay healthy across this transit. Yeah. And a remedy for this could actually be, you've got, Jupiter in the 6th house, and Jupiter is aspecting the 10th. A remedy for this could be to keep serving with an open heart. I've got here, keep serving others with an open heart and a humble spirit. It's like that will just generate a lot of good energy, good karma. That's going to be a really good thing for you. And that could interestingly be a bit of a remedy that could help your health as well. So that is what I have for you, Capricorn. We are now going to welcome Aquarius. Aquarius, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is Aquarius Ascendant, Aquarius Moon, or Aquarius Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So I've got a special note actually for the Aquarius moons in the audience. My lovely Aquarius moons, guys, the tough bit is over. Okay, my Sati Aquarius moons, you've done the tough bit. All right, it's good. Honestly, the tough bit of Sati really is the first 5 years. Once you've done that, then you're done with the tough stuff, and now you're building up. You're building up your money, your wealth, your stability. You're building up, and you're going to be coming out of this. So you've just got one more leg to go, and you're done. Now, for all Aquarians out there, you're all slowly building up your wealth, okay? And that's good. That's important. You need to do that. So you're building up your wealth, you're building up your gains. It's a slow process, but you're going to do it. You're going to be building the foundations of your ability to have big wealth in your life. You're building up the foundations at this time. You might possibly also be organizing shared assets at this time as well. Something to do with shared assets could be in focus. If we have a look at your Rahu Ketu axis across the year, I've got here your Rahu position is really demanding that you figure out your position or opinion of things independent of anyone else's view. That's important. What do you think? What's your idea? How do you want to do things? It's like the ball is in your court. It's kind of like the universe is even saying that. The universe is saying the ball's in your court. What do you want to create? What do you want to do? It's up to you. You get to decide. You get to choose. You get to envision the future at this time. Now, your Ketu position, I've got here, if there are any relationships you'd like to let go, this is actually a good time for that. It could be that, if there are relationships that you want to let go of, that would be easy to do at this time, if that's something you want to do. Equally, if there are relationships that you love, those should remain quite stable, and they aren't going anywhere. So Ketu is often a real stabilizer. But sometimes what can be a bit difficult with a stabilizing energy is that if you want to grow or go beyond it, you kind of can't, because it's just stable. It's just sort of a bit fixed. We do have a fixed Leo here, yeah. So it's kind of Ketu's in there. So it's something. If there's something good that you like that you want to keep, well, you'll keep it, and it'll maintain it at a status quo type level. But equally, if there's something that you want to let go of, that can happen at this time, and that could be a good thing. Let's have a look. Jupiter. Oh, this is excellent. Excellent transit for money. I'm so happy for you, Aquarius. You need this, Aquarius. I know I've often, over the last, I don't know how many years, but I've often talked about it's been tough for Aquarius for money. So this is a really good money transit for you. I've got here, it's also great, so not just money, this is actually also great for finding or expanding love and romance. Isn't that wonderful? And of course, it's great for time with children. It's also great for conceiving or expanding your family, any of that. So this is some beautiful Jupiter energy here for you, Aquarius. I'm really happy for that. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. We are now going to welcome Pisces. Pisces, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So this is Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Moon, or Pisces Sun, as per the sidereal Vedic system of astrology. So now, Pisces, you've got Saturn in your first house. And I just want to give a special message to my Pisces Moon people, my Sadi Pisces Moon people. How are you doing? I've just got an extra note for you. This is the portion of Sadi which is difficult. Okay, Saturn is going to pass over your moon now across this period. So this is the period of time. And I've got here 2025 to now, it says on here 3 June 2027. But if you've had a reading with me over the last, say, 2 to 3 years, and I've quoted this time period, I would have said March 2025 to about March 2028. Because there is going to be a retrograde. So we really get that Saturn in Aries energy, the fresh new energy, really March 2028. So I've got the note here for Pisces Moon specifically. Take extra care across 2025 to 2028. Because this is the period where Saturn is going to pass over your moon. And yeah, this is the intense time frame for you. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find something you love that is like a solace to you. So one of my clients, she told me that work has been a solace for me, you know, and if it's not work, then it's a hobby, or it's a spiritual practice, or it's something you do that maybe requires a bit of discipline, a bit of effort, you know, a Saturnian thing, right? And that could be meditation, but it could be a hobby that you love, that when you do that thing, you just feel good and you feel happy. You know, maybe it's cooking or jewelry making or whatever it is. What is that thing that when you do that, it feels good and it's some good, healthy outlet, creative outlet or something like that? You'll want to have that thing, okay, and that will be helpful. But even for the Pisces Moon people, I mean, if you're Pisces Moon, the whole thing isn't going to be terrible. It's just going to be small bits of it here and there. It's never the whole thing, so you don't have to worry. It's not like this whole time period is going to be. No, it's not. It's just there's just going to be a week or two here and there within this, you know, it's never the whole thing. It's just there are just certain little portions of this leg of the journey which could be a little bit tough, you know. And there's always, the other thing about Saturn is that he always like does things a certain way. Yeah, he'll test you and it could be difficult, but then there's always healing energy that comes afterwards, or there's a bit of a break, or there's a bit of, you know, there's always, these things are so well organized. Saturn is really brilliant. I was tested a bit over the last year, and I did observe that, wow, Saturn like gave me a bit of time out and I could process things. And, you know, I don't know, I was amazed. I was just, and you have to be in present time to attain the healing. That is something that I've discovered. The healing energy is always offered. I'll give you another example of that. I knew someone, and she told me about when she had her children, and she said that nature delivers these wonderful hormones, and it makes you feel fantastic. She's like, that's how you can have another one, because she's like, if it wasn't for that natural process that happens after you've given birth, you would never have another kid. She's like, but these wonderful hormones come. See, nature's got it all worked out. Nature has got it all worked out. Nature is incredible. So yes, difficult, painful things happen, but there's always some healing or good, beautiful thing restorative thing or something that happens. There's always stuff like that. And if you're in present time, you get the benefit of the healing. That's why it's really important to let go of the past and to be in present time. Really, really important. Now let's take a look for all of you. So all of you Pisces people here, yeah, I do have the note with your Saturn there in the first house. I've got here, work will be a solace for you, because your work houses are lit. Your courage will be tested at this time, okay, with your Saturn third aspect there. But the 10th, look at that, your career. I think you might be busy. You will be busy. You will be on the playing field of life. You might be worked quite hard, you know, work. So work could be a solace. Equally, work could be the thing that's challenging you, okay? So if work is challenging you, if work is working you too hard and it's challenging and it's difficult, you will want something other than work to go to for that solace, for that time out, for that, you know, peace and quiet. You'll want something that's non-work related, you know, and you will just be able to be you and to just recharge and have a bit of time out. You'll need time out here and there. I've got here, you as a whole person will be transformed. It could be, yeah. I've got here your courage, your relationships, your career. Your relationship might change. Your relationship with your significant other, that might be tested, okay? There might be some tests there. There could be some transformation there. So it's a pretty profound time, Pisces. You've got a lot going on. There's a lot happening here. This is all about you. So Saturn in Pisces. Yeah, so you as a whole being, I mean, you could be transformed. You could be setting up a new 30-year cycle. It could be that big, especially if it's your ascendant here. Okay, so you could be starting big new cycles at this time. Really, really profound. Let's take a look at your Rahu-Ketu axis. So I've got here Rahu. Oh, let's start with Ketu actually. Oh, your Ketu position is lovely. I'm happy about this. So your Ketu position should stabilize your material world. It should stabilize like your work or money, or that should be stable and constant and consistent, quite fixed. I generally find like Ketu in a career house, Ketu transiting a career house will help you maintain your job. You'll keep it usually for the whole thing. It can mean a job loss. It can do that as well. It can kick you out of a job, but I feel like if that happens, you'll probably get another similar one quickly, or there's something about, there's stability, it's status quo, or things are maintained, or I've seen it operate more like that than it be that you lose a job or any of that. But you know, if the job goes, it's like I feel like you'll be able to get a new one again quickly, that kind of thing. I've got here, yeah, Ketu in this position, in 6th house Leo there, it will keep your job going. It can cut out enemies even. It can protect you. It protects people's health and things like that. B.V. Raman really rates Ketu transiting through the 6th very highly. So that's where I'm getting that from. Now Rahu position. I've got here your Rahu is really beautifully positioned there to go after spiritual growth. And I've got the note here that you will be able to see the world more, like you'll see more. Okay, when you grow as a spiritual being, you start to see everything. You join the dots where no one else is joining the dots. You'll see more. And also look at that. You got your Ketu aspect there in the 2nd house. So your eyes, you see, because the 12th, you've got Rahu there. You've got Ketu aspect there in the 2nd. Your eyes, you'll see more. You'll see more truth. You'll see more reality. You'll see and understand the world much, much better. You'll get a bigger understanding of what is the reality of this world. That's terrific spiritual growth. That's really, really good. Yeah. Really good. So let's hope that that happens. That's always a great thing. You'll see a lot more. You'll see the truth. You'll see the reality. You'll see things other people don't see. Let's have a look at your Jupiter. Oh, terrific. Yeah, your Jupiter is promoting that as well. This is beautiful. So it's beautiful for you spiritually, this Jupiter, but there's mixed results here. So with your Jupiter in the 4th there, if there are issues at home or in home life or relationships with, you know, people you love and things like that, yeah, you could be tested a little bit at home if there are issues at home. Where Jupiter goes, he expands the thing. So if there are problems, Jupiter can expand the problems. So I do have here issues at home with mother, or in your subconscious even, might be amplified at this time. But your aspects there into, this is all moksha type energy, and this together with your Rahu Ketu axis, wow, you can really grow spiritually at this time, Pisces. And that's the best way to grow. That's what we're here to do, really. We're not here to get a job and pay off a house and, you know, do all these material things. We're not here to do that. We are here to do spiritual growth, you know, because that is the thing we take with us into our future lives. Because this life ain't it, you know, I've got a ton more to do, right? Or however many more to do. I don't know how many that is, but what I know is that life is eternal. And that's how, yeah, I mean, I'm growing spiritually too. I read my books a little bit every day, and I've been reading a lot of Yogananda. And yeah, he's helping me see a lot of things. And yeah, I mean, life is eternal. So, you know, that's the thing. That's, you see, and in the context of infinite lifetimes, well, that gives the greatest motivation to get it right now. You know, if we've got infinite lifetimes, it's like, oh, well, I better just do the right thing now, isn't it? Because that's the only time that is relevant. So yeah, I love thinking about all these things. But that is what you're gonna grow so much spiritually over these next yeah, I mean, definitely with your Rahu Ketu and the Jupiter is really strong, and your Saturn in the 1st house there. I mean, that is that could transform your whole life. So Pisces, it's a profound time that you're going through. And don't you worry with the Pisces moons. Yes, you are in the tough bit of Sadhisati, but it's never tough for the whole thing. And there are good bits too. It's never for the whole thing. It's just there are certain little pockets where there will be some tests, but when there are tests, there's always healing energy that comes just immediately afterwards. You have to be in present time to get the benefit of it. And if you get the benefit of it, that's the growth. Then you've done the work, you know, and those things won't revisit you. So keep at it, Pisces. And anyone else who's watched the whole video, I want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you for being just the most wonderful community. I always say at the end of these videos, I should say this somewhere at the beginning. I never say it at the beginning, but those, well, at least the Pisces people get to hear this maybe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this a wonderful community. I want to wish you a wonderful 2025. You know, may this be your best year yet. May all the things that you dream of happen or start to happen, or, you know, whatever that is. But let's have a look. Yeah, it's the 26th of December. Wow. I'm super tired, man. But I'm wishing you a happy new year. I'm going to have some recharge time. I'm going to edit this tomorrow, launch it tomorrow, and I'm going to have a weekend off. I'm not going to do any work. And then I'm back to it myself next week. But thank you all so much for being here. I'm wishing you the best 2025, and look out for my future videos. I will be doing one on Saturn, I will be doing one Rahu Ketu, Jupiter, all of them. And gosh, as many videos as I can do. I'm doing a lot for Patreon these days, so I intend to keep doing that. Right through to, well, definitely I'm sort of thinking to September of next year, and then maybe I might be able to come back to YouTube and do more videos on YouTube. I haven't been doing as much on YouTube lately, but I want to get back to it. It's just with sessions and Patreon, it's quite a lot. So yeah, I'm super busy, but I'll be back more on YouTube. I will be. Let's see what 2025 holds for me this year too. But I'm wishing you a very happy new year. Take care, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time.